Hello, my name is Brigid Tuck. I am the Senior Economic Impact Analyst with University of Minnesota Extension. In my real job, I work with communities to help them sort of understand what does their economy look like and what is their future. So one question we get quite a bit is sort of what is the value of county fairs in Minnesota? So I'm going to talk about that with you today. So in my real job, I'm an analyst, but I am also a 4-H mom, a proud 4-H mother. So as all of you know that are actively involved in 4-H, that means you are also very actively involved in the county fair. And I think that when you are as intimately involved in county fairs as I am, or you are as well, you really see the magic of the county fair. So I have been there, sat there and watched this kind of shy kid who goes up and does their interview for their 4-H project and just like absolutely nails it. And you see them come alive and you see that interaction with the judge and that kid's confidence and their abilities really expanding. And I've seen that up close and personal. Or I've been there, as kind of a leader of my club, gone into the barn and had, the kid, the 9-year-old, come running up, let me show you my cow, and you go over and they just talk about how excited they are about their animal. And you just see that infectiousness and you just instinctively understand how valuable the county fair and that experience can be. At the same time, we know we get often asked by stakeholders, they don't see that up close and personal. So they want to know really what is the value of the county fair? Can you articulate that to me? And of course, as I mentioned, county fairs have value on so many different levels in terms of our experience in our communities, experiences for youth, just all those great development pieces that are there. But a lot of times we get asked about sort of what is the role of the fair in the economy. The county commissioners may ask, if we're going to continue to support the fair. Sponsors may ask. So really, what is the value of a fair? So we worked with 2 counties thus far, one in 2017, one in 2018 in Minnesota. So we worked with Pine County and we've worked with Beltrami County to measure the economic value of their fair. And I want to share some of the findings from that and then talk a little bit about what you might do if you want to do something similar. So what we found is that fairs really do drive economic activity in the county. So for Beltrami County, what we found is that for every dollar that is invested by the County Agricultural Association, so the Fair Board, there is $4.43 of additional economic activity generated in the county. So for every dollar put in by the Fair Board, $4.43 worth of economic activity in Beltrami County. In Pine County, we found that in total, the county fair generated just shy of $1 million worth of economic activity in 2017. So about $900,000 worth of activity in Pine County coming from the fair. And part of the reason that the fair drives economic activity is because it does actually bring in tourists. And I think this is something maybe that gets sort of lost in the message. So if we look at Pine County, only just slightly more than half of their attendees are actually Pine County residents. So they're bringing in just about half the people from their neighboring counties. They're pulling some from the North Metro as well. So county fairs are an opportunity to bring people into your community and get them an opportunity to really see your county and sort of how you celebrate yourselves. And those visitors bring in money. So this is for Beltrami County. On average, each person is spending $28 for one day during the fair. And that's average, that's across children all the way up to adults. And what you can see here is a lot of that spending is on the fairgrounds. So of that $28, $10 is for food and beverages at the fair. But they're also going out into the community and making purchases. So $3.40 worth of, on average, purchases for retail items off the fairgrounds, transportation, dining out at places off of the fairgrounds as well. So they are bringing money into the regional economy while they're here. And fairs also bring in a lot of entertainment. So we asked kind of Pine County people, what do you like about the fair? And you can see that food and beverage piece. Then you can see the strong 4-H component there with the animals, right? Definitely a lot of 4-H as well as some of your open class exhibits. But then you can see the demolition derby. Pine County has a big demo derby, as well as some of the more social aspects. So the beer garden, the people watching, the being with friends. So you can kind of get a flavor for the county fairs as kind of that social gathering place, as well as bringing in activities for your local residents and your visitors to enjoy. Fairs also really support community. So in Pine County, they have a real emphasis on their vendors being nonprofits by and large. But we found on average that each nonprofit vendor was bringing in just over $12,000 during the fair, and that they were the majority of those, that was their operating budget, or a big component of their operating budget for the year. And what that means is, in addition to those organizations being able to operate, a lot of them then turn around and give back in some way. So whether it's the Lions that might be running a program that sends home backpacks full of food on weekends for kids that face hunger issues, whether it be donating books to the library, they often, those service organizations, nonprofits, are really well connected to the community as well. So in addition to sort of having that fun atmosphere as well, going on to help support some of the pillars of the community. And then, fairs make people happy. So we asked, and this is for Pine County, but Beltrami County had very similar results. How satisfied are you with the fair? And like 90% of the people saying, or 95 saying that they are satisfied or very satisfied with the fair. So why would you measure your fair? What would be the point in doing this? One reason that you might think about, other than getting all the great wealth of information that you've already gotten, that I've kind of shared with you about being able to articulate your economic value and be able to go out there and say that, these kind of studies can really help you invest your marketing dollar wisely. So you can learn who comes to your fair, like looking at the demographics. And then conversely, who doesn't come to your fair? So if you realize that I've got all the young people, and I've got their parents, and I've got the older generation, but I'm missing that 20 to 25-year-old, that might be a group that then you think, do we try to market towards them? You can ask questions about how do they learn about the fair? What are their channels for learning? So how do you target your dollar? If you do the survey and you've been spending all this money on your website and you find out that nobody goes to your website, that's a sign that maybe stop investing in the website. Or maybe you find that everybody's reading the paper, so maybe you double down in your investment in the paper. Those are the kinds of things you can get from that. What are the things that people enjoyed? So we saw the slide there where people like the animals, they like the food and beverage, but it might help you figure out like what things are missing from our current mix that might draw more people in. Or conversely, what can we promote? We found out that people really like X, so how do we continue to promote that? And then where do people live? So you can look at, I think Pine County had kind of an aha that they were pulling from the northern suburbs. I'm not sure they really realized that. So do you continue to market to that northern suburbs and hopefully drive more people from the area? That's one of the options they can think about. You can also use this information to really help improve your visitor experience. So this is Beltrami County, but you can see like what frustrates people, how can you improve? So obviously here people think that dark blue is strongly agree and the maroon is agree. So you can see that by and large people think that it's a family-friendly and a safe event. Where there's some room to improvement is for handicap accessibility. So that's something going forward that they can think a little bit more about, how do we improve that experience for our visitors. And also, how do you improve your vendor experience? So again, same kind of thing here. They feel that they are respected by the fair board. They feel good about the communication from the fair board, but they weren't feeling that they maybe had the sales volume that they would like. So that gives some opportunities for them to think about, how do we improve? Is there ways that we can work with our vendors to improve sales volume? Is it getting more traffic through there? Is it more information for folks to know what opportunities there are? Just kind of thinking, how do we improve that vendor experience? And then you can use to, maybe settle an age-old dispute. So this is just from the vendors, so it's a very small number of responses, but what kinds of things should we add to the fair? And you can see that there was quite a few responses for concert and music. I know in my county, a number of years ago, the carnival fell apart at the last minute. So right now they're doing kind of like an inflatable bouncy house type thing. But that could be a question then that they could ask on a survey like this. Should we continue to do the bouncy house kind of thing, inflatables, or should we try to bring a carnival back? So that could give you some opportunities to ask a question like that. So how does this work? Well, at the end of the day, you have to get out and actually talk to people. So you do have to go and do a survey of your fair visitors, the folks that are attending the fair. What we do is Extension has done in the past is train some volunteers to go in, or not, we train people that are paid to go in and collect surveys. So you can, from the community perspective, that would mean that you would need like a core team to organize it. Oftentimes it's the executive committee of the fair board. They're going to help design the survey. What questions do we put on there? Where are the best places to do the survey work? All that kind of stuff. Then we've historically hired a local coordinator. So that's someone who does all the work with the surveyors. They recruit them, they hire them. They're there during the fair to make sure all the surveys are getting filled out, make sure the surveys are collected, make sure they get back to Extension, that kind of thing. You would have to hire the surveyors. And then, of course, there is, along with that, as you can imagine, there is a financial component of all of this. And then Extension in turn, what we bring to the table is we have expertise. We've done a couple of these already. I'm the economic impact analyst, so I know a lot about this. We have a specialist that's just in tourism and has a deep knowledge of surveying, so really knows how to get a good survey and survey results. Then we do the data tabulation and all the analysis and the report writing. All of that then comes back to Extension. So hopefully this was helpful for you thinking about why would we maybe consider doing some sort of economic contribution of our county fair. And hopefully you've learned about why county fairs are valuable. Here's my contact information if you have any questions.